Hello, this is Mr. Gambino here with a new stream. In this stream, we'll be going over the event week for this week. I'll be doing it on like Monday for Grand Theft Auto Online. But yes, got to this a bit later unfortunately because I've been so busy like buying stuff on like older Nintendo eShops. They're getting delisted today apparently, or like pretty much all the games you can buy and shit on the shops getting delisted and shit. So I've been busy on other fucking consoles and shit, so barely can never. But yeah, anyways, if the title does not make it very apparent, then there is no major content addition this time around. It is pretty much just purely an event week this time. In this event, honestly, a lot of the stuff is just repeat stuff from last week. But there is definitely some new stuff, which I'll especially be mentioning that stuff, but yes. You can still get 2 times money in RP for the first dose and the last dose, so if you have yet to play them, it's definitely a very good opportunity to be playing those missions if you for some reason have not yet done so. Both of them, in my opinion, were definitely very amazing, I would say. Honestly, I feel first dose is honestly pretty disappointing though. I don't know, I think I do prefer last dose to be honest, because it brought back Dr. Freelander and it was actually a pretty significant part of the like story for last dose. First dose, I was honestly pretty disappointed though that Ron doesn't really make as much of an appearance aside for like the introduction and stuff, just to get you connected to the characters. So, story-wise, when it comes to the cutscenes and stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of First Dose. Last Dose, I think, definitely improved. Freelander was back and he had quite a significance, I feel. Being a whole ass antagonist and whatnot. Gameplay-wise, on the other hand, doesn't really matter gameplay-wise for money making and whatnot. They're all pretty alright, especially because they're going to be on the double money. I'll mention a little something here as well that's on like the Rockstar Newswire. They mentioned there's been an upwards correction of more than 25% on the amount of money awarded for the last dose missions. So it sounds like the last dose missions pay out more than they did when they initially came out now. Sounds like it's kind of a permanent boost thing, similar to some of the stuff they did with Criminal Enterprise, where they did like, I think they did like 50% permanent boosts on like the races and like adversary modes and stuff, and like Criminal Enterprise DLC. It's kind of similar to that. So it seems the last dose missions now have a 25% like permanent boost to the payout. So I'm not sure if that makes the last dose better for payout than first dose now, or maybe for some reason the last dose didn't pay out as much as first dose. I'm fucking confused. So it might be a little more lucrative than last time for sure for the last dose. But yes, as this was kind of from last week for this part, I'm not going to go into specifics for missions. Most of the missions I feel are pretty easy. There's definitely certain ones that are kind of worth avoiding, but there's not that many worth avoiding anyways. But yes, in an MTL Brigade 6x6 discount, again, I think this is actually something they did last week, but they're also doing it for this week, probably in celebration of like the last dose and whatnot. So it seems to be extended another week here for that one. Brigade 6x6 is definitely very nice. Even if you do not think you're really going to be using like the RAM and like all that kind of stuff on the vehicle, it's got the fucking business in it. People claim it's pretty much the best passive business in the game. And I gotta say, from what I've seen so far, I personally never really bothered with the business much yet myself, but you can fucking buy the supplies on the phone. You can actually buy the fucking supplies on the phone, which makes it a whole lot more convenient than the rest of the businesses. So I mean, that alone definitely is a crazy passive business potential compared to the rest of them. The only thing I would say would maybe kind of compete would be like your nightclub if you have like all the stuff with it as well. In terms of passive businesses, and yes, plus stuff being pretty fresh is still going on for that subscription. Woo, more subscription promotion. Woo. Totally gonna begin that now. No, not gonna begin it. Let's be real here. Alright, clothing item for getting all the last two missions done apparently will be unlocked for me for April 7th. Alright. Got that one for the stash house, and then the one for doing the first Celestis mission. I think there's like one other clothing thing, and I think involves like the asset sales. I mean, that's the only one I haven't unlocked yet. If I haven't cared to unlock it, really. Oh, and yes. For money making, you do want to make sure you play all these at least one time. You have to unlock the ability to replay these missions as you would expect. You would have to do all 12 missions. Or actually, it's 11 missions. I'm pretty sure it's 6 and then 5. But yes, you unlock it after completing both sets of missions for the replay ability, which makes the money making even better. That's the only thing I really have to add to that. And yeah, complete acid lab resupply missions will get you double supplies. I want to say that's another thing that got like included from the last event as well. But yes, for those that do not know, the resupply missions apparently are not really too worth doing. It's pretty much just like your other passive businesses where you just want to purely buy the supplies since you can just make the money through other methods. But yeah, resupply missions are pretty much just purely a waste of time. I would not bother with those. Just buy the supplies and make your money back other ways. And yet, asset production speed 50%. I want to say again, that was something from last event that's in this one as well. Again, that's kind of a lot of continuation stuff going on, like they kind of mentioned the first time around. Yeah, production speed, at least no matter what, that one will at least be useful. But really, the resupply mission one is not really going to be that great. But yes, and then that's pretty much just all the clothing stuff that's going on for the 2 weeks from the last event as well here. Nothing too crazy there. Again, you have one last week for the Willard Eudora here until they vault from the game and bring it back at some point, most definitely. Who knows what the fuck they're doing with the vaulting of the vehicles anymore these days. Something they've been doing brand new with this DLC. So far, they haven't even brought one of them back, I don't think. So, I don't know, maybe they bring them back at like the end of the DLC around there, I don't fucking know. But, not really that great of a vehicle performance-wise. You're really only going to want it for personal preference customization kind of reasons. And none of this other stuff really seems to be not useful to talk about here. I gotta say, the last couple benefit sections have not really been that great, I feel. It's back to the what's new section, I noticed. I noticed when they came out with the last dose, they actually kind of rebranded it, which was kind of interesting. Not too useful, but what's new section? I think it was all like a bunch of like the older stuff. But yes, there's like new discounts and there might be like small like amounts of like money opportunities that are new. Like the street dealer thing on my title, the 2 times money street dealer, I definitely don't remember that one being from last week. Hell no. But yes. I guess in some title I figure I'll mention the street dealer thing right now, since I haven't done that yet, I don't think. But yes, 2 times money on the street dealers, especially when you're going for like the premium thing, that can definitely be quite nice and welcome. From what I heard, I think on Sunday, I think it was actually like cocaine or something for like the preferred like product type or something. So apparently Sunday was kind of the best day being like the cocaine, which is pretty much the most valuable one you can do. But yes, honestly, but yes, because there's only like free street dealers each day and whatnot, there's only free street dealers each day, and it's just generally better to do your businesses themselves. I feel even with double, if you're absolutely willing to do the sale missions, then it's probably still just better to do the sale missions. But if you're not a big fan of certain sale missions, like for example, I'm not really the biggest fan of the MC sale missions because they require like multiple players for like the post-op vans and whatnot. I would only really do them if you're not big on certain sale missions, like for example, a bunch of like the MC sale missions, which is bulk of like the street dealer stuff in the first place. Something as easy and simple as Asset Lab, I would probably honestly just do the sales for that now, instead of wasting your like stuff on the street dealers. And yeah, I would only really bother with the one like on top or whatever with like the star icon. The premium types are pretty much probably just the only real worthwhile ones. But yes, apparently I think from what I've heard on like Sunday, they did like cocaine for like the preferred like product type. And yes, there's certain like maps or whatever on like preferred search engines such as like Google and whatnot. You can look up certain like maps on like your search engine, and then there's easy ways to kind of find the street dealers. Can't exactly remember like the map I used for GT Online of lately. But yeah, certain maps should get you an idea of where the street dealers are, which I would say is definitely a more reliable way of finding them out, rather than waiting for like someone to tweet it or something for each day or something. Maybe something more like automated, like a map or whatever would do. Alright, and that's how I export vehicle. Guess if it's there, after the casino here, I'll do that. But yes, as I usually do when I first get in the lobby, I'll go over like time trials and whatnot. But yes, time trial for the week here is LSIA 2, where I think you go from like a parking garage or something, and then you go to Galileo Park, it seems. I don't remember that one being too crazy or anything, especially if you're on 19 systems and you get access to HSW Hawkout Drag, which much single-handedly is pretty much probably your best time trial option. As long as you are careful with it, of course, and being a bike, obviously it doesn't take up as much space on the road. Besides for that, on 9th gen, I would say pretty much any of the HSW, like, supercars or, like, the HSW vehicles from, like, the Criminal Enterprise DLC, which is the Sterling GT HSW, the Mugiro ZX HSW, or the other one, like, muscle car. The ones from Criminal Enterprise or something like general, like, best top speed vehicles in the game, I'm pretty sure right now still. But yeah, it's like a good few to several recommendations for HSW vehicles to use in, like, the time trials and stuff for 9th gen. For 8th gen, for like supercars and stuff, some of your top lap time options I recall is like the Progen Emirates, the Benefactor Krieger, and then the LM87 supercars. And then for top speed, I think it's like the P-Fizz 811. I think the regular Devastate is in the top 3 if I recall. And I think like the regular, like, new entity MT from like the Drug War DLC is a pretty good one for top speed. For like supercars, if it's more of a top speed focus for any reason. Being like a city though, I would probably say it's more lap time heavy though. Any vehicles like maybe like the Banshee 900R I recall can be pretty good for supercar top speed as well. Motorcycles are just pretty much what I would pretty much recommend for a regular time trial. If you want to go with a very cheap, affordable option that's very good, the Body 801 should be a very good motorcycle. LSI 2, I think, is one of the newer time trials, but though I assume it is still very much doable with a Body 801 that's like $15,000. Very cheap $15,000 motorcycle, all the modifications and stuff, probably at most it'd be like $500,000 for like the performance upgrades and stuff. Very good entry gateway kind of vehicle. Stuff like the regular Hokta Drag and like the Nagasaki Shotaro Electron bike, if you were a couple good like time trial vehicles for 8th gen. And yes, for a good top speed motorcycle option, like the #1 top speed, I think for 9th gen. Funnily enough, I think it's actually better top speed than the HSW Hokta Drag from what I've heard, because the HSW Hokta Drag is mostly known for its lap time. For like the 9th gen only Hokta Drag, of course. Yeah, the Western Reaver is actually a very good top speed option from like the Contract DLC. That's a very good motorcycle option for 8th gen. Something like the Maibatsu Manchester Scout and stuff, or like Capri Geist and whatnot can also be a kind of nice option for 8th gen. And yes, Hokta Drag, I think you lean forward with the stick for the best possible speed, by the way, for the best possible speed, whatever. Because most vehicles, you do backward on the stick for a motorcycle as if you're doing a wheelie for best possible speed. So yeah, Hokta Drag is kind of one of those better exceptions that kind of has like a better way of getting your higher speeds. Nagasaki Shotaro, I think you can do forward or backwards on your stick for the best possible speed, I'm pretty sure from what I've heard. And then I want to give one last motorcycle recommendation, and I think it's actually on a discount for this event as well, and I will go to the Western Power Surge, Nagasaki Power Surge, whatever manufacturer the Power Surge from the Drug Wars DLC is the latest DLC. The one new motorcycle from Drug Wars, it's a brand new electric motorcycle, and I think it's the only electric motorcycle in the game from what I recall. What that means is basically it's the one like acceleration focused motorcycle. Being acceleration focused means that if you were to be slowed down, you would be able to get like right back up to speed. Acceleration is like how fast you get the top speed or some shit like that. So the Power Surge can definitely be a very nice, interesting option. Good thing about Power Surge too is most electric vehicles I think are piss poor top speed, but I want to say from what I remember from roughly 132, the Western Power Surge actually is within like top 10 for top speed still, even though it's an electric vehicle, which is pretty good. So I think the Western Power Surge can definitely be quite a welcome one to use. In case you were to like fall off of the motorcycle or something, you might be able to recover pretty easily because of its acceleration and shit. So that should be a bunch of good motorcycle options for 8th gen. RC Bandito time trial to start on goes to construction site 2. The very first RC Bandito time trial is known as construction site 1. So if it's anything similar to construction site 1, which I assume it's the first time trial because it's kind of like one of the easier ones, because it's kind of based on the first one, I feel it could be one of your easier RC Bandito time trials, so it could be one pretty worth checking out. But personally, I am not a very huge fan of the RC Bandito time trials. You only get the one RC Bandito option to use. You can't even use actually invade and persuade tank or something like that if you wanted to, and that would at least make them a little bit more interesting, but yeah. You only get like $100,000 for it, so you can only use one vehicle. I don't really feel it's worth your time. HSW time trial this time around is run alternates. That one you go from like here, I think all the way to like, I want to say like over here or something if I recall. It's not very bad actually. If you use very certain shortcuts, you can actually do it pretty efficiently if you use very certain particular shortcuts. I don't know, I think I try shortcutting here at times, but actually I think once you get to the highway, it's actually better to just follow the GPS route. But especially early on, you want to be using the shortcuts in like the deserty area here. Like you can pretty much go like straight across if you're fortunate enough and the vehicle like lands pretty good and whatnot. And then instead of like having to do the turns and stuff here, you can just go straight across essentially. As far as I know, that's pretty much the main like skip in that one. For like route advice here. And then yes, part-time is determined off the vehicle you use, so technically you can use it. Technically you can be pretty efficient in any vehicle you want, because the time is dependent on the vehicle you choose, unlike the other town trials where you get like one time no matter what vehicle you use. Me personally, I am going to go with the Izzy Rally, and I pretty much gave any like vehicle advice really there. And then premium race for the week here goes to the motorcycle class. Pretty much mentioned everything I would want to mention about the motorcycle class, so I would pretty much use all that same time trial advice here. Time will be if there's out of corners, which most likely would be the case if it's in the city. And very rarely, if it's on like a highway or something, you would want to prioritize like top speed. But yes, premium races you cannot see what the course is on the map, unfortunately. sorry for the pause there. I thought I heard something like house and shit. Yeah. What's it fucking called now? What was I saying? Didn't. Alright, about the map not showing up on the pause menu. For some reason, they used to have the ability to view the map, but they don't anymore. I don't know why they took the ability to not see the map from the pause menu, if I recall. But either way, when you go into the lobby, or like when you're in the race, like selecting your vehicle or whatever, there you should be able to get a look at the map on the premium race, and then you should be able to determine if it's lap time or top speed focused. So it's pretty easy to figure it out even before the race starts. Like what you would want to probably focus on, as long as you're a bit knowledgeable of the game, of course, and the vehicles and whatnot. Okay, $40,000. I will gladly take that. I'll always gladly take cash. But yeah, it's a podium vehicle for the week. It's like the Izzy Sport or something like that. I really wish it was like the later things where like if you like don't down and stuff, it would just tell you what it is, but I do gotta look at the news wire and stuff. For that, just in case. I think I looked earlier and it did say Izzy Sport. But I will definitely be making sure here before I go any further with this. Alright, yes, it's the Weenie Izzy Sport. I forget, but that one might have been from like Stubborn Santos, like Super Autos or something, so it might be from like a 2018 DLC or some shit, so it's kind of a bit aged, perhaps. I kind of forget though. I think it was before like 2020 or something. I don't necessarily recall the Izzy Sport being too bad. I think it's on Stubborn San Andreas, if I recall. I'll be going over a performance of this one. Izzy's already two-door, I think, right? I think it should be in the right section. I gotta pull up the spreadsheet for Property 152 here. It'll be just a moment here before I can go into the exact numbers. Okay, Izzy Sport, okay, I found it, alright. And yes, like I was saying, it doesn't necessarily seem like anywhere near the worst vehicle. I'll go into exact numbers and stuff, of course, in a bit. But I'll preview at some discounts. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay, I was saying like 2019 at the latest, so I was thinking around that you're kind of point for Duncan Resort the most. But yes, the Weenie Izzy Sport. By getting this podium vehicle, you will be saving at least $897,000. If it has a livery on it, which I think I do remember seeing a livery on it, and you'll probably save like another $20,000 to $30,000 if you keep the livery. Therefore, the savings would pretty much at highest be a little over $900,000. And back when Kyle Preco Heist was good and stuff, he could make like $1 million, like per hour, like 1.5, maybe even close to 2 million in certain cases, $1 million like per hour. Even with Kyle Preco Heist and saving for whoever Mevits, I feel that's still pretty accurate. So you could probably make this vehicle if you're using efficient money-making methods in like an hour or two. It's not the biggest time save in the world, I would definitely say, if you get this vehicle. If you're fortunate enough to get your lucky wheel. But yes, Izzy Sport, according to Ruffy132's spreadsheet racing YouTuber, It's a 9th place lap time apparently for the sport class, and then it's like 75th place top speed. Actually, if I was more of a top speed focus, but I guess it's more of a lap time focus, which is actually better. And yes, on 8th gen you don't have HSW, so instead of 9th place it would be like 7th place on the 8th gen, so it would even be a little bit better there. So you are getting within the top 10 for lap time, so I feel it's somewhat okay of a vehicle. But there's definitely better options for sure. So I don't think it's anywhere near like the worst podium vehicle they've ever done. So it could be a very nice one to get. I guess if you go in the interior, it does like change the export vehicle, or like it removes it, whatever. I'm fine with that, honestly. I don't want to get like too distracted off of them anyways. If they're in like the middle of the city and stuff, I'm not necessarily really planning to go in the interior, then sure I'll do it, but yeah, in case like that, I'm rather going to the casino, I feel. Yeah, now I will go to the test track as I usually do here, go over stuff over there and whatnot, for like vehicles and shit. And, by the way, on the Rockstar Newswire, for some reason, they kind of opted out to, like, go over the discounts, like, when you go into, like, the sections of, like, the test ride and stuff. But if you go into the actual, like, discount section, it will list a couple of these vehicles, so maybe it'll take me a bit longer than usual to find out what they are, but from when I previewed before I, like, wanted to do the live stream, I think it's a Scotland Classic, clearly, since I was on, it was literally right next to Izzy Sports, so it's definitely the Gauntlet Classic on discount, and then I think the D is also on discount. I think the one full price one here is the Pariah. So therefore I'll mostly be talking about these two, and I won't be talking too much about this one. But the Pariah is actually a very good vehicle, I know that for a fact. I think it's an S tier sport car, so even if I don't go much detail with it, I think it's definitely a very good pickup, even if it is like full price and whatnot. So do keep that in mind. I'll double check, make sure I'm right now. Alright, yes. Gauntlet Classic Muscle, that's 35% off. The ENS Deity over here is 40% off. And yes, Pariah is not on discount. If I did remember correctly. But yes, I will start off with the Gauntlet Classic. Okay. Prado Gauntlet Classic. The price, like discount price, whatever, was already on there earlier from when I was showing the Izzy Sport. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it was on the screen at one point, so I couldn't really cover the price part too much. I guess I showed a particular price over here. The one with delivery and stuff, that's $399,750. That's gotta mean it's a little bit cheaper than that, even for the website. It might have a trade price to it, so keep that in mind. So if there is a trade price to it, then it might be a little more expensive for you, but either way, it's not that costly for price. But yes, the Gauntlet Classic. In the muscle car class, it is in the F tier apparently. And the tier mostly depends on like lap time and stuff, so that means it's going to be very bad for lap time, which makes it 42nd place, and it's 43rd place for top speed actually as well. It's like 60-ish to like 70-ish, like muscle cars or something like that, so... in the 40s, I think it's definitely pretty below average though, regardless though. There is a lot of muscle cars, but those are still very below average for the performances. Being an old school classic muscle car, it's not all sporty looking. You shouldn't really expect it to be a very good performance though, to be honest though. There is something I want to know about the Gauntlet Classic though. And that will involve the Benny's original Motorworks website. But yes. You can actually turn it into a Benny's vehicle here with a customized example, and you will instead get the Bravado Gauntlet Classic Custom, which I'm pretty sure actually gets like performance improvement. I'll have a little look at it. I'm not going to go into exact numbers per se. It actually makes it have a pretty crazy top speed actually. It apparently gains really crazy top speed when you actually turn it into Benny's vehicle, so then you can actually get some pretty decent performance. So I would only get it if you're willing to turn it into the Gauntlet Classic Custom. I think the upgrade for that will be full price. It's just the regular vehicle that is on discount after all. So there's some reason to get it, but not for the actual Gauntlet Classic itself, for the regular version. And then last but not least, 40% off of the ENS Deity. I do not believe I'm seeing a livery or anything on it, so it should probably be the normal price pretty much. For discount price, I mean, for 40% off. $830,250. Not seeing a livery on it, so it should be the same exact price as on the website. But yes, the ENS Deity, I am actually not going to go over performance for that one, and the reason is because it is an Monitech vehicle. Being in a Monitech vehicle, that means it has like armor, it can be like weaponized a little bit and whatnot. So I'll be more talking about the capabilities and like free mode and stuff like that for this one. But yes, starting off, being an older Monitech vehicle from the contract DLC means that it has bullet resistant glass. Bullet resistant glass doesn't give you that much bullet protection per se, I feel. Especially when it only takes like 16 assault rifle rounds to break it. Assault rifles can shoot real quick. So if there's enough concentrated fire, you can break pretty quick. Like, obviously, bullet protection at all is definitely pretty nice, but just know it's not that much per se for survivability in that regard. Compared to other vehicles like the Armored Crewman have much better bullet protection. So it's not the best in that regard. But definitely very nice and helpful regardless. Which in that sense makes it one of the better Monitech vehicles. Even without armor plating, I think you get blown up in one like regular RPG. But yeah, without armor, I think you can actually take like 2 to 3 like homing missiles or whatever. So even without armor, you get like very slight homing missile protection at least. So that's always quite nice. So if you didn't want the armor plating for any reason, if you want to go more for like a more pleasing aesthetic look, then you do get that slight bit of protection. But obviously I am going to recommend the armor plating to make it a nice free mode, like, tank vehicle. So it can take a whole ton of missiles. Not the craziest explosive resistance. I want to say it's like 3 RPGs or something like that. Like, at least 3 RPGs, I think, when it has the armor plating. Maybe like 6 on like homing missiles and whatnot. So yes, you get some pretty alright, decent armor protection for explosive resistance. Again, it's not going to be anywhere near your best option for that, though. Being an older Amani tech vehicle, you can actually put like front-mounted machine guns on it, which means you can put mounted weaponry on the front, which is nice. So it can make doing stuff like Headhunter easier than with like certain other vehicles. Which I think for money making, you're pretty much going to be limited for the most part to VIP work, I feel. Even then, for money making for like VIP work, there's much better options. But at least with the front-mounted machine guns, you can definitely get some okay money-making with, like, the Headhunter VIP work, for example. Maybe stuff like Hostile Takeover and whatnot as well. Certain VIP works for some very small money-making for free mode and stuff, and quite nice. And yeah, being a mine tech vehicle, it does have slick mines. Slick mines are mines that basically spin vehicles out. Not the most helpful mine type, since it only has the slick mines. That's the only option you can do. But being your only option, you're pretty much forced to. You might as well. That can be helpful in the very smallest circumstances. And then aside from that, I think it's mostly your like money tech stuff, which is your missile lock-on jammer remote control unit. Right off the bat, remote control unit, I don't really think is going to be that good for this one. With the release of the Ocelot Virtue now, there's now a 52 vehicles that are pretty good for your remote control unit. But yeah, you pretty much want to put remote control unit on like an electric car, pretty much, I would say. Easily, my recommendation for this one definitely goes to the missile lock-on jammer. Not to mention the ENS deity is in the sedans class, which isn't really known to be the most speedy class in the game. But yes, not to mention it's in the sedan class, it's not going to be anywhere near your speediest vehicle in the game. I don't even think it's in like the top couple options or anything for sedan either. It's just not like you're any of your fastest sedan options per se as well. So yeah, missile lock-on jammer I think is definitely a must between the two money tech options pretty much. And that will prevent homing missiles from locking onto you, which is quite a nice feature. So that's 6 like homing missile capacity, and that's even greater because you won't be able to get locked onto with the remote control unit. Not remote control unit, but the missile lock-on jammer, of course. So to reach the 6 criteria, it's going to take a lot of crazy aiming with the homing missiles when you have that missile lock-on jammer. But yes, that is pretty much the main set of features for like the early mining tech vehicles. What's the unique thing that the deity does, however? Apparently the main unique thing that the deity does, it's actually the heaviest mining tech vehicle in the game, apparently. From what I have heard, it is the heaviest mining tech vehicle in the game, which means explosions won't rock the vehicle around all that heavily and whatnot. So it stays to the ground pretty nice. Definitely stays to the ground pretty nice, which is definitely quite nice compared to other mining tech vehicles that will probably go flying into certain explosives. Like something like the laser cannon and like the savage cannons and stuff, those won't be bouncing the vehicle around like crazy. Assuming that happens with those cannons. Otherwise, with like RPGs and stuff, it's going to be staying to the ground pretty well. And not being like flying around in the air getting hit by like an explosive projectile means like being able to get away from other explosive hits more easily. So that's the main advantage. That gives it the extra survivability easily. Yeah, pretty much already mentioned the slightest bit I wanted to mention about the Pariah, since it's not on discount at all. I'm not going to go into numbers for that one. And then prize ride this time around. That is the Gallivanter Baller LE LWB, which is like a low wheelbase or something like that for the LWB. Armored. So yes, you are able to get an armored vehicle this time around, which is actually quite cool. Armored vehicles can be some of your more useful vehicles in free modes. Definitely a very nice one on offer this time around. And the prize ride challenge involves the LS Car Meet series, which pretty much means that I think you can do pretty much anything tied to like the car meet. So that means street race, pursuit race, and might even be able to do the ones in like free mode in the LS car meet. Like I think they're called like the sprint races. You can do the ones against other people in there. Maybe even. Not too sure about that one, but I think so. From what I've heard. But yeah, top 2 in LS car meet race for 2 days in a row. That's actually not that bad for an armored vehicle. Honestly, for an armored vehicle, I'm surprised it's not more strict than that, to be honest. We have very easy strategy with that one. But yes, starting off a pursuit race, I do not recommend doing the pursuit race route since you have the bare minimum players of 4 players, which is basically like a 50% chance of like getting top 2 there. On the other hand, street race is fucking perfect for that, with the 2-player minimum requirement. So you're basically guaranteed a top 2 every single street race. So basically you just have to do like 2 street races in a row, like 2 separate days essentially. Very easy armored vehicle you can obtain. And yes, it's not going to be as good of an armored vehicle as the Deity. That's not like the 40% off discount, but still very respectable regardless. Again, it's more useful than like 90-95% of vehicles in the game. One of your more useful free mode vehicles in the game. But yes, has the bullet resistant glass that the DD does, which means they can take like 16 pistol rounds, like 16 assault rifle rounds, etc., etc. Not the greatest bullet protection, but it's still quite respectable regardless. And then yes, the armor plating isn't really that great either, to be fair. It's only 1 explosive you can take, and then the second one basically destroys the vehicle. So you can only take like 1 rocket, and then the second one blows you up. And I believe with this vehicle, it's regardless of if it's a regular or a homing missile as well. So 2 homing missiles and you're essentially done. So yes, Deity is definitely a better one to get. But you gotta keep in mind you can get the Gallivanter Baller LE LWB for free by doing the challenge. So for a free armored vehicle, that's definitely not bad. Very good prize right this time around. And then HSW tester right this time around, whatever goes to the Karate Turismo Classic. Between the Sterling GT HSW that I mentioned earlier, which is mostly a top speed focus, between the two Sport Classic HSW vehicles, the Turismo Classic tends to be more lap time focused, which for the most part is actually better, I would say. I would say Sterling GT would be better for like your HSW time trials, but when it comes to like Sport Classic races, generally your Turismo Classic will probably be better. So yeah, definitely a very good HSW vehicle on offer this time. If you're fortunate enough to be on a 9-can system.
I just nailed a mean fucking burial.
No doubt about it.
But yes. Honestly, I think all the offerings there this time around are honestly pretty good in some capacity. The only bad one I would say was the Gauntlet Classic. But even then, you can upgrade it to the Gauntlet Classic Custom, and you're getting some very nice top speed, apparently, for the muscle car class. So I think pretty much all of them are pretty nice offerings this time around. The only sucky thing really was the Pariah's not on discount, but not all of them are going to be on discount each time, so some minor complaint this time around about the test rides. Very good selection for every part of it this time. And luxury autos here will be the NS RE7B. And then the P-Fister Astron. Again, I think if you go into like the luxury auto section of the newswire, it won't show the discounts. You gotta go into like the actual discount section for some reason. Unlike a bunch of their usual newswires. But yeah, I think the RE7B is on discount, but the Astron is not on discount. So yeah, I think it's this one that's on discount. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Astron on the newswire, just the RE7B, yes. So, the NS RE7B, that will be in your supercar class, as you would expect off of the look and everything. And the NS RE7B, according to Bruffy1322 spreadsheet, it is in the B tier for the supercar class. And apparently that gives it a 13th place for lap time. And that's like 34th place top speed. It's definitely below average, I would say, in the top speed departments. This is like 60 supercars in the game right now. So I think the top speed is definitely very bad. And then, yeah, lap time is out of the top 10 on 9th gen at least. I think it's only up to like number 10 though. Yeah, I think it's only up to number 10 for lap time now on 8th gen now. I think the HSW on like, I know there's 4 HSW supercars, but NTMT I think is a pretty terrible lap time from what I recall, so yeah, I think only rises up to number 10. So on 8th gen it's like at the very bottom of top 10, I want to say, for a lap time. So I guess in a sense it could be okay for a lap time, but you're definitely better off with other supercars. And yeah, the Peeps are Astron, not on a discount, but Peepister is known for like their sporty comets and stuff like that in like the sport class. Peepister makes them the sportier SUVs in the entire game. So this one's definitely a pretty nice one, at least on the 8th gen. I wouldn't really get it on 9th gen just because there's the Astron Custom. I would say go for the Astron Custom and then give it the HSW treatment on 9th gen for the Astron Custom. But as this one's the regular Astron, I probably wouldn't get it on 9th gen, yes, definitely. 8th gen can be quite nice. Oh, and the discount price for this? 1,742,500. I don't think there's a delivery on this one. Like, I think you can get a delivery at, like, the mod shops, but the one here does not have a delivery as far as I can tell. But yes, 30% off of that one. Still 1,742,500. But yeah, definitely not worth it. 9th gen, 8th gen, just a tad, just a small bit worth it. 8th gen, Astron, 8th gen, the Astron is definitely worth it. 9th gen, not really, just because of the HSW one you can get for Astron Custom, which is a whole separate model to this. Luxury autos, they pretty much obviously have to have it for both 8th gen and 9th gen, so it's obviously not the one you can do HSW or. So even though it's not on discount, it is actually cheaper than the one that's on discount, so I would definitely, if you choose one at all, definitely go this one on 8th gen. God damn, I swear if I went dual sense, that's hella fucking drift on the rates, dude. Even compared to usual, I feel god fucking damn, no. Alright.
Who voice is that?
It looks like the door actually has a whole different look to it this time around, so there's a whole different separate build to the door this time.
Don't be out all night.
I want to say that might not be a livery on here actually as well. So if you really didn't like the previous build because it had like a livery on it, this one might not actually have a livery on it, so that's pretty nice. But yes, being a whole new vehicle in the game as of the last previous event week, it's obviously not on discount though. And again, I kind of mentioned earlier in like the what's new section, the performance is pretty pitiful garbage for the muscle car class, as you would expect off the looks of it. It's not one of the like sportier like muscle cars that's in like the top of the class pretty much, so it's not obviously going to be your best performance option really at all. So I would only get it for personal preference, customization kind of reasons. Rebel GTS, I think by the way is your one discount. Yeah, Izzy Classic at full price. Streeter is a full price. And then the Rapid GT is gonna also be a full price. Yeah, performance-wise, Eudor's just absolutely not worth it. Rebel GTS, that's an SUV class. Does have a livery on it, so it does have a pretty unique build here. If you get Anthemians. Otherwise, if you don't want like the livery and stuff on it, you can just get on the website where it'll probably be a little bit cheaper. But yes, the Rebel GTS on its discount will be $730,650, which is not too shabby, and that's cheaper than the Astron from earlier, which is like 1.6 or whatever. Rebel GTS, I think, might be one of the higher up SUVs as well, I want to say, somewhere as well. I'll talk about the performance numbers because it is on a discount. Rebel GTS, that is 40% off, so one of the higher discount percentages. Pretty much the only other 40% off discount, actually, aside for the Deity, so one of the higher percents. And the Rebel GTS, that is going to be in the A tier. It is in the A tier for SUV class. It is very good. According to roughly 152 spreadsheet. And on nitrogen, it is a 5th place for lap time. And then 4th place for top speed. And yes. I would honestly say for sure if you're on 8th gen, it's more like a top 3 top speed as well. So yes, if you're on 8th gen, I think you're definitely going to be in like the bottom of top 3 for top speed, which is definitely quite nice. Even better than what it is on the 9th gen. And it might be like within top 3 or like top 5 for sure, like... Actually, it's already top 5, it looks like, for the... Yeah, it's actually already top 5 for the fucking... lap time. So lap time either goes up like a placement or 2 more. But because the spreadsheet is as of Criminal Enterprise and not fucking Drug Wars, I think you have to include Izzy Rally as well, so I think it's like number 4 for lap time. Either way, you're pretty much top 5, top 3 at best for top speed, depending on if you're on 8th gen or not. You're clearly getting some very damn solid SUV performance on this one. It's a very nice discount here, for sure. SUV is definitely not the most popular class to race along with, but if you are on SUV races and stuff, then it could be a nice option to have. And yes, goddamn sticker is being annoying. And then yes, the Winnie Izzy Classic, not on a discount. I believe it's the one's in like the compact class or something, which isn't the greatest classing. It's not anywhere near the most popular for like racing or anything. But yes, there's a couple interesting things about the Izzy Classic regardless. It's not that crazy expensive. It's a pretty cheap vehicle if you really absolutely wanted it. But yeah, the Izzy Classic, what I mostly know it for is like the Arena War variant. There's an Arena War variant of the Izzy Classic, turning it into the Arena War, like Izzy Classic, whatever, basically allows it to be used in like the arena game modes. There's even like a very exclusive arena game mode where it's called like Here Comes the Monsters or something, I think. Here Comes the Monsters is basically a mode against like the Sasquatch and the Izzy Classics. So owning one and turning it into an arena version could be a very nice money making method for the arena if it's around like a double or like triple money or something for like an event week. And then the other good use for it, I think, involves like the Izzy Classic races. So I think that's vaulted content in the game. So on rare occasion, they do bring back the Izzy Classic races for like a month or something. So in that case, owning a regular Izzy Classic would be good in that case. Otherwise, you pretty much want to turn into the arena version, which makes it pretty nice to own, whether it be regular or arena. Benefactor Streeter, I don't really recall this one being that good. Again, it's not on a discount, so it would be paying like full price, like 500,000. Not terribly expensive, but kind of like an SUV, but in like the sport class, essentially. Sure, it does look sporty and stuff, so it could be slightly fitting in the sport class, but look at the fucking body style of this thing and shit. I think it's clearly more so of an SUV. Maybe it's like an early kind of concept of like the sporty SUVs they would end up introducing in the game later on and stuff. Like the Tauros and like the Astra and stuff. I'm not sure why it's not with things like that, but oh well. Either way, I don't remember the performance being that good. Stupid damn. Yeah, damn DualSense drift. Fuck, man. But yeah, performance is not good at all. Again, it's kind of basically an SUV, but in a sport class from my understanding. And then the Rapid GT, I think this is literally the one from day one of the game. Yeah, 140,000, it's gotta be like the one from day one of the game. Being a day one vehicle, the performance doesn't age that well. And being an old vehicle from like day one, you can just get it in the fucking story mode of the game, so not really much of a point to get it in online, I would say, really. So, I would get the Eudora if you don't have one already, but you really want one because you only have until like May 29th to claim it, as it showed in the What's the News section. So Eudora in the right circumstance could be one worth picking up. Redwood GTS is actually a very good discount option here for the one discount here, so that's a definite good pickup there. Again, for the arena game mode, if you upgrade it to an arena variant, absolutely get the Izzy Classic for that. Otherwise, if you want to keep it regular Izzy Classic, just hope that the Izzy Classic races come back or something. But it will probably only be for like 1 month or something, so... Again, like the Eudora could be worth getting in the right circumstances, depending on what you personally care about and whatnot. And I think definitely the worst discounts, if I recall correctly, go to Streeter and then the Rapid GT. Again, I'm just not going to go in much detail with them, though, for numbers and stuff, because they're not on a discount, though. So yeah, I think the first three were definitely the most worthwhile pickups, especially the GTS being a discount. Counting Eudora for being a fun vehicle and being a new one if you just want to try it out and whatnot, or customizing it and stuff. If I heard like the plane Ben thing or something. I don't know if I got that like criminal enterprise, like a Ben thing with like the smuggler plane, whatever. I forget. Thought I was hearing something like that. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. I don't fucking know. But yes, that pretty much took care of all the showrooms in the game, so now to go over money opportunities and remaining discounts, pretty much. Pretty much being like it's just a typical event week with no new content whatsoever. For those that want to know the name of the missions, I'll show the names of them, but as I had explained them pretty heavily in the previous, like, thing, it's kind of a 2-week thing they were doing, so I'm not gonna mention, like, every little detail about it like I did last time, I don't know, maybe I'll just say, like, good or bad or something. Definitely one of the harder ones, though, I would say bad. This one's pretty alright, I would say. I think this is one where you find all the stuff, so that's one I would definitely avoid, I think. 4 is a pretty good one, but I don't think the pay is that great, because it's pretty much the most chill mission of the game. This one's definitely a pretty alright one. The most annoying parts are Valkyrie at the end or some shit. Stealth mission, just because of the nature of the stealth mission stuff, might be one of the longer missions. In some sense good, in other sense bad. So I would say the main ones to avoid would be 1 and 3 for those. As 4 those are definitely pretty worthwhile, I think. And yeah, last dose is 5. Again, I don't really think the first mission is that great to grind efficiently, because it's an ambush kind of mission. You basically, first dose 1 and last dose 1, you basically get ambushed. This one, definitely, I don't remember being bad. Gameplay wise, freed mine. I don't know, it's like the interior and stuff, maybe it drags on a bit, but I don't remember it being too bad, actually. This one's like the short trip. This one's like the one where you trip out, like the 4th one and first days. So it's a bit more complex and whatnot, for sure. So the pay is probably a bit better, I would say. As I feel with the finale mission, this one's actually a bit of a bitch because of getting hella shot, feeling like the mule custom or whatever, and like the driving situation. I think really for last is mainly just the first one for the most part. It's not bad, I feel. Maybe I want more details like than I wanted to, but it didn't drag on for as long as other sections, I would say, and I was talking about for sure. I guess I would do that again. I just decided to kind of go in more detail again, I guess, for those wondering. Again, a little reminder, there's apparently 25% permanent boost to the last dose missions or something. So apparently last dose actually got buffed a little bit by another like 25%. I think it's one of those like permanent boost kind of things, similar to like the races and adversary mode thing they did with the previous Criminal Enterprise DLC. So last dose should be a little bit better than the last week or something, it appears, according to the wording on the news wire. But yes, I think I pretty much mentioned everything I wanted to mention about the resupplying and then the 50% speed production. I think I pretty much mentioned everything I wanted to mention there. Brigade 6x6. For the business alone, the Brigade 6x6 is definitely very nice. I'm not going to go in as much detail on it this time for sure, since it was a discount last event as well. I think for 30% previous event as well. Like, I think last time I talked about like the features of the vehicle and stuff. Just know about the business and literally the Aston Lab just for the business alone is very worthwhile. So everything else on the actual vehicle for features like the RAM and stuff is obviously a very nice extra bonus essentially as well. That's all, and I want to say more about the Brigade 616 30% off, because that one was already covered on like the main menu. But yes, I think I'm going to be doing a stash house because there's 2 times money and RP on it. And it's a once a day thing, you only get to do 1 per day. You might be able to do 2 if you do like your second character for the day or something like that, I don't know. Oh my fucking god, I am drifting on the fucking stick though, Christ though. And yeah, I think it's only like $7,007, but still I'll do it. It's a very quick win to do. Oh, okay. Might have been going for the other thing. Whoops. It's the one up there for the purple icon. What's going on right now? Which is definitely the better of the two, so I'm glad it's that and not the other thing. Glad it's not the G's cache. Unless there's something going on with that too, but I do not think so. But yeah, honestly, I think 2 times money RP is not going to be too impactful here. Money you don't really get much money from this, you mostly just get your business supplies. But I think you mostly actually get money if you don't have a business. So if you don't have a business on like a second character or something, then sure, maybe. But on like 9th gen, you kind of already get like a business on you with the new like tutorial and stuff. So that's more of an 8th gen thing where that would be useful, I feel. You might always have the option to not start with a business, I don't fucking know. And career builder, I think is actually maybe only like 1 time or some shit.
You ain't got nowhere to go. Nowhere. Hell! Ballers for life! Put some pressure on it. OCBG all day. Shit! Hey, somebody got that. You're going down. These fools stop.
Of course, the Apollos be doing a bunch of weed here. Of course, they would. Because of the Series A finale heist and shit. Okay, I'll look for this ticket. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, I didn't notice a ton of them, but well. 72683. 72683. Right, this one would be better. And again, this way again, I think. Because they're higher numbers. But again, if you have businesses at all, I think it prioritizes your business stuff. So the money, 2 times money might honestly not be that great for this for the most part. Unless you don't have a business. You know, look at it, 2 times money, 2,000 instead of 1,000. So fucking great. Alright, counterfeit cash factory, okay. Besides for it not being one I didn't get before, honestly, I don't really think counterfeit cash is actually not great for me. I think it's an average. I think it's an average MC business. I think it's like the third best at most. So it's not as good as like meth and cocaine, which are the top tier ones, and this can be done at the street dealer, whereas like the counterfeit cash cannot, I'm pretty sure. My code doesn't rely on that, my code just auto produces as long as you have like businesses and stuff, not like the stock part of it. So I'm not big on AMC sales and counterfeit cash. Honestly, I wish I would have done something better. Oh well. But yes, main way to definitely take advantage of that is if you don't have a business. I mean, pretty much always prioritizes the business if you have any sort of business at all, from what I've heard. From like Test2 or something on Twitter, like reputable, like insider people, like leakers or whatever the fuck all they're called. So really, it's gotta be a very particular circumstance and not only like any business or some shit where you actually get good money from double money. It appears it's pretty trash. I don't know, it might vary sometimes, but it's nothing that crazy for money. RP is fucking whatever after rank 120, like most people are anyways. And yeah, I doubt it's a very super high amount of RP, even on doubles. Stash houses themselves are very nice for your businesses. They got like 1% better, I guess. Money doesn't have to do with the business stuff, by the way. I'm pretty sure it's just the money on hand. That's 2 times, obviously. If I didn't make that already clear enough. So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of laughably bad, honestly. Even though the task itself is very good. God damn it, that drift though. But if you got, like, if you got 2 times business goods, that would actually be good, but yeah, 2 times money not really much helpful, but you only have one to do a day. It's a pretty quick thing to do. You might as well do it anyways. With how already good it is. And yeah, I pretty much mentioned everything about the street dealers since I chose it for the title of the stream. You want to prioritize the premium types. Yeah. You want to prioritize the premium types pretty much, which is the one with like the star on it. Besides for that, it's pretty much you just better to sell your businesses themselves than it is a street dealer for the most part. Probably even with the 2 times. Yeah, apparently Sunday was where it was like cocaine premium type or something from what I've heard, so and I'm doing this on Monday, so it might not be too great right now. Sizeberg and premium type, kind of. But I think on 2 times you probably get closer to like 100,000 for like certain product types. I don't think I remember on like normal money making more than like 40 or 50 for selling max of anything. I could be wrong. But it's not even that crazy good. Unless of course you do like all free street dealers, not just like the ones you find over time playing the game or something. And then, yes, 2 times money on taxi work there is as well. But yeah, a lot of the different stuff going on for the week is a lot of like newer content, which honestly, a lot of the newer content for pay has honestly been pretty piss poor, I feel. So, in a sense, that's kind of bad, but well, not every week's gonna be like top tier and everywhere and even. But yes, 2 times on the taxi work, which is, I went for the trade price of the taxi like when it first released, and I think I only got like $15,000 or some shit for 10 fares. 10 fares takes a hell of a long fucking time, especially for the biggest map of the entire GTA series. Taxi work in the 3D universe, I think definitely worked a whole lot better over the smaller maps and stuff that like paid definitely made a lot more sense. Sure, in real life you don't get a lot of money for the fares, but it's a game, man. Like, come on now. I think I legit only got like 15,000 or some bullshit for a whole 10 fares in a row and shit for the taxi trade price. So what, 2 times of that, like 30,000 or some shit? All the money you would make for 10 fares for like 30,000, you could make that in like 5 or 10 minutes or something for like a VIP work. So just do a VIP work or something. It's that simple. Don't even bother with the fucking taxi work. It's not worth your fucking time. For money, just not worth your time. The only things I would go for like certain unlocks. Again, certain unlocks like the fucking taxi trade price. Broadway and the Eudora have taxi deliveries that you have to unlock for taxi work. That could be something to shoot for, and you'll get an extra bit when doing that. Or of course, if you're just going for like a word completion, there's like certain awards in the game that are tied to taxi work. So if you are going to do taxi work at all, just do it for like certain goals of unlocking certain vehicle liveries or like fucking Or like fucking doing like certain awards and like the award list and like just that many or something. The task itself is just flat out not worth it for the 2 times money now. Only do it in like tangent with like a goal or some shit. Cause yeah, you'll probably spend like an hour or some shit for 10 fairs or some shit. I don't know. And it's probably gonna be like 30,000 on double money. That shit's crazy. And I think the tips only cap out at like fucking. I think tips cap out like 1,000 or like 2,000 on double or some shit. It's crazy. It's just flat out bad for the most part. After taxi work, it mentions like all the clothing stuff. That's pretty much all been went over, and I was thinking from glass spin as well. I think there's literally just one last money opportunity. Even this shit's probably better than fucking taxi work, for fuck's sakes. Honestly, you know. Yeah, taxi work is such a fucking goddamn joke, though. Yeah, the money opportunity anyways is an adversary mode, so it's not gonna be super great compared to anything else I've already mentioned or anything. But yeah, Trapdoor is a limited time adversary mode. I think once the month of April comes around, they will be vaulting this game mode. So this is probably one of your last opportunities to play it until it gets vaulted for a long time. Building. But yeah, essentially I think it's like some deathmatch style mode where like there's certain conditions that need to be like filled or something, and like a trapdoor opens and whatnot. So it's kind of an easier like deathmatch style mode essentially for this adversary mode or something. Where like your team might get easy kills if like someone were to fall down a trapdoor and shit. It's not a vehicle related mode, so I feel it's one of the longer lasting adversary modes. I think the longer adversary modes are definitely deathmatch style kind of adversary modes. I think those tend to last longer than ones like vehicles and stuff. But that's a positive, but depending on like the amount of rounds and like if your team wins like every single round and stuff, you're probably only gonna make like a couple $100,000 at most. It's just not gonna be super worth your time though. It's only play if you want a lot of fun. Only play if you want to have a lot of fun, or like you want to play a mode for a very limited amount of time. Honestly, not gonna lie, it looks like the acid lab stuff is again gonna be like your best stuff to do. And again, I think it's something from like last week as well, with like 50% boost in the acid lab stuff. 50% speed boost is basically gonna be your best option. And yeah, the money payout isn't increased at all, it's just a speed. And yes, the money payout isn't increased at all, I think it's just a speed, and it produces quicker, so that basically means like more amount of sales you can do in a quicker longer time and whatnot. So either way, you essentially kind of make more money on the asset labs, so easily that's your best option. And again, like last week, I think it was pretty much the best thing there for last week too. That deal money making pretty much the same shit from last week. For event stuff. And besides for that, I think it's just like 1 to like 2 discounts left. God damn it, Jake for OBS. Besides for that, I think it's just like 1 to like 2 discounts left. One I kind of already mentioned when talking about time trial stuff, but yes, the other discount kind of was already alluded to, but I'll still get to it at some point. And then the gun van, I think it's that's for discounts, which kind of also is discounts anyways, but yeah, there's only like a few more discounts to mention, and I think that's pretty much it. This is probably like the most boring event. This might be one of the more like boring events like in general for the DLC so far, I gotta say. Since a lot of it's just like repeat stuff. I think it's not to 40,000, so I want to go here to get the money, I think. That's why I'm here, by the way. Alright, yes, you can see is to 40,000. The arcade getting any? Yeah. Guess not. Or if it did, then that was a while ago, but I doubt it's anywhere near full anyways.
What's up, boss? Stay safe, boss.
Arcade's actually 90,000, okay. Well enough right after I was mentioning if it happened or not, and then got to 90,000. Your way, I got me 240,000 there, 39 million, 47,000, 578 right now, cool. Got me to 39 million again, that's cool.
Looking good, boss.
I'll see you at the gym.
But yes, 2 discounts pretty much to mention. So I think I pretty much already mentioned everything with one of the discounts that I'm about to mention here. Again, I kind of talked about in the time trial, but Fervor Proof here, the Western Power Surge. Literally a vehicle released in the latest DLCs on discount here with the Power Surge. I want to say this is probably the first time it's on sale here, so if you've been waiting for a sale on the Power Surge, this is probably the time to pick it up. It's even 30% off. I'm honestly surprised it's not something like 25% being one of the later like DLC vehicles in the game. Gained almost $500,000 off of it. It's a $1.1 million motorcycle instead of like a little over 1.6. It's a little over 1.1. It's, yeah, almost 500,000 savings. It's actually quite nice. And yes, damn it, fucking, God, this fucking drift and shit. Damn it. But yes, fortunately the spreadsheet is as of the Colonel Enterprise DLC and it's not as of the Droid Wars DLC. So unfortunately the spreadsheet I use is not up to date with the latest DLC. It's like a DLC behind, which isn't too bad, but it still means I don't have exact numbers to provide right at the moment unless I go on like a YouTube video, which would take some time, which I'm not gonna really do. Again, I think both lifetime top speed is within the top 10 if I recall, so it is actually a pretty good motorcycle for performance. Being within top 10 for both, I think does definitely make it pretty good for performance, definitely. The main thing of the Power Surge again will be because it's an electric motorcycle. It's like the one motorcycle in the game with like instant acceleration. That alone definitely makes it a very worthwhile buy in the Power Surge. Power Surge, I think it's definitely one of the better DLC vehicles released in this DLC, definitely. So I do think it's a very nice pickup. So I would definitely go for one personally. It can be very interesting for time trials and stuff, as I was kind of mentioning earlier. And the last discount I think should be on the worst stock website, and it's going to be pretty boring, unfortunately. Again, it's almost basically already mentioned earlier, but the taxi is on a 30% discount on a trade price at $47,500. You're getting $341,250. Not very great. Not even 150,000 savings on the like price there. On a 30%. Honestly, without low it is already, just make it like 50% off or some shit. That would actually be more impactful. But yes. Taxi. The only main like good use for it really is so you can like do like the taxi work from like anywhere. You can start the taxi work anywhere and you don't have to go over to the like place to do it. If you don't mind going to downtown Capco itself for every time you do the taxi work, which probably wouldn't be that often because pay is atrocious, like I was mentioning even on 2 times, then yeah, you could probably pass on it. But it is a Pegasus vehicle though. And because Pegasus storage is unlimited, there's no limit on like Pegasus storage, then you can basically own every single Pegasus vehicle, so you might as well just pick one up. Especially when you can easily get it in like 1 hour or some shit. But yes, you can easily get the vehicle in like an hour, easily. But it's honestly not going to do that much for you. So I would only get it purely to collect all the Pegasus vehicles in the game, to be honest. But again, you do get that little bit of extra convenience on the taxi work, but it's not even that great. You might as well just go to the taxi place anyways if you don't care to collect all the Pegasus vehicles. But yeah, Taxi is easily the worst discount, I would say, easily, of this event. Brigade 6M6 is a very nice discount. Power Surge, very nice. RA7B, I think it's definitely one of the weaker discounts, but even then, I think on 8th gen it is within top 10 a lot of times, so depends on your platform kind of for the RA7B. The Classic itself is pretty bad, but it does have the Classic Custom, which is good top speed though. They're not necessarily a bad discount there. And yeah, Deity and Rebel GTS are good discounts. So discounts for the most part are pretty good actually for vehicles. Taxi's like the one major exception. RE7B and 9th Gen 2. And yes, couple gun van discounts, one for everybody, and then one's exclusive to the subscription. Of fucking course. Yeah, they barely even do weapon discounts with the gun van in the first place, so it's pretty cool that there's like a weapon discount every single time now. I feel weapon discounts were definitely like a rarity for the most part before the gun ban, but I feel like it's like a every week thing now, which is nice for like some sort of weapon discount, which is always quite nice and welcome easily. Alright, looks to be the next order vehicle apparently, okay. Might wait till after time trials or something, I don't know. So I'm not doing it on stream per se. There's nothing's really going on with it. But yeah, for weapon discounts, first one will be like a LMG, SMG, or some shit. I don't know, this one might be light machine gun, either light machine gun, SMG, whatever, one of the two. But yes, Combat PDW will be a 40% off discount. Fucking damn drift down there. Yes, Combat PDW 40% off. Does have support for drum magazine. I don't think that was a feature added initially, but I think they added the drum magazine in like Finance and Felony. I think the weapon came out in like one of the old Gotham Games updates in like 2015, so it definitely did not initially have a drum magazine. But with that, now it has a 100 round magazine, which is pretty fucking crazy. Just got a pretty crazy magazine capacity, which is definitely a strong suit. I think that equals a longer reload, but because of the crazy magazine capacity, it's almost a non-issue. And then it is a pretty unique weapon in that it actually has an integrated suppressor as well. But a Combat PDW doesn't have your typical suppressor on it. It has an integrated suppressor that's like built into the weapon, which is pretty crazy. Pretty cool, unique feature of that. I think those things alone make it a pretty worthwhile pickup. If you're not big on like having suppressors on your gun, if you care like what your guns look like, and you're for some reason not huge on like the aesthetic thing, but you still want to like collect every single weapon in the game, Combat PDW definitely gives you one of the better like suppressed weapons of the game in a sense. So yeah, definitely a very nice one to pick up. I don't think you can drive by with it or anything usually unless you're like on the side of a vehicle. Like if you're in like a van, if you're in like the moonbeam, like for example, if you're on like the side of like a Roosevelt, or if you're like in a helicopter, if you're on like the back of like something like the Phantom Wedge and stuff like that, you can actually use the combat PDW. In very particular vehicles, you can actually drive by with it, like when you're like on the sides of a vehicle or something. So in very particular vehicles, you can use it for drive-by actually, I'm certain of it. But not in like your traditional car like this, for example, no. But yeah, not really too much reason, unfortunately, to use like an LMG or like SMG typically over like an assault rifle usually. So assault rifle would pretty much easily outclass the combat PDW for the most part. But yeah, it's definitely very interesting. Definitely the couple most worthwhile things. Definitely the drum magazine and then the integrated suppressor. And then plus members only will get 55% off of the advanced rifle. But yes, advanced rifle. Personally, in my opinion, before some of the later assault rifle editions, I think this was definitely my assault rifle of choice. Even with like Mark II weapons and stuff, I think it's personally my assault rifle of choice. Because personally, I like to use the Mark IIs for like the special ammos. I don't want to like have like. I personally don't really want to have like all my Mark II weapons with like regular ammo just to refill it for the interaction menu. So at least for the longest time for me, advanced rifle was definitely my main go-to assault rifle. Definitely the old reliable. Definitely one of the top couple of few like general weapons in my opinion in the entire game. Easily, definitely one of the top couple like general weapons to like top few general weapons in the entire game for sure. Very useful if you have a lot of your like Mark II like assault rifles with non like yes. What I mean to say is of course very useful if you have like all kinds of like Mark II ammo on your Mark II weapons, not regular rounds where you can actually fill them with the interaction menu. So when you're using more limited ammo types, it's definitely very nice to fall back on the advanced rifle. I think it's definitely better off than the compact rifle. Sure, this thing has 100 rounds of the drum magazine, but you don't get a lot of attachments on it, like the scope and stuff, which makes for better accuracy and whatnot, so I think it's more like a close range assault rifle that you can use on like bikes and shit like that, so I don't really say that's a competitor to the advanced rifle. Military rifle, I don't really think it's much of a competitor either because of the 45 magazine size. But yes, because of the 45 like magazine size of the military rifle doesn't have 60 as 45, I think that definitely significantly reduces the usefulness of the military rifle having to reload more often when using it for longer usages and whatnot. I think just within the last couple like years, I feel there's definitely finally been some interesting competition, and then finally the advanced rifle would probably be outclassed now with the heavy rifle and then the service carbine. Heavy rifle, I think, is more damage focused and it has a scope, whereas like the service carbine does not have a scope. It has a crazy rate of fire focus instead of like a more slight damage focus. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really use my advanced rifle anymore. I feel it's kind of out of the meta anymore. It was definitely a nice fallback weapon when it was just like the heavy rifle, but especially as of Criminal Enterprise, especially within like the last like half year to like almost a whole year at this point, like 9, 10 months maybe at this point, I don't really see it being too useful anymore. Because there's other like good non-Mark II assault rifles in the game now. Yeah, I really just don't see it much being too necessary anymore. But I don't know if you still like it for some reason over those other two, then sure, it could be one of your more reliable assault rifles. Not a bad weapon at all, just not in the top couple anymore for me. I think the advanced rifle is definitely the better of those two. Unfortunately, it's subscription only though for 55% off. Like, it's not that, like, it's not that expensive or anything normally anyways. But yes, I think I'm just going to do the time trials, the regular and HSW time trials in particular, and then I'm going to be done with the stream, because now everything has been covered. Every event detail has pretty much been covered in under 2 hours, which for me is actually pretty good. But that was because of all the, like, repeat stuff and whatnot. For me, it's pretty good with my shit frozen. Of course, all the drift happening on my stick this time around. Still think this stick drift happening on the right fucking analyst then, for real though. My fucking dual sense. I ain't eating and shit when using dual sense. It's just like, what the fuck, no. Oh, this one starts on the ground. Okay, so it's not like the first LSI. Okay. So, scratch the parking garage bin. Would have been pretty annoying with the parking garage bin. This is actually easier than I thought it would be. From memory, definitely. I think the first one's definitely more annoying just because of the fucking parking garage for sure.
You calling for some wheels? I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
My advice is pretty much all the same. I'm just maybe it may sound harder than it truly is, though. That's what I'm saying. gonna try and make sure in here and don't feel the GPS going down. Like that's really the most efficient thing that's suggesting there, really.
Hey, buddy. Hey. Oi, wake up.
Hey, good morning, man.
You fucking sheep.
Yo, fuck.
Goddamn, I'm in 2 minutes in the drag. Holy shit. Like HSW drag, not regular drag, of course. So I'm on 9 gen. But yeah, I would now finally be doing an HSW run for. I mean, it's a rally HSW run for the HSW counter, I guess. Alright, sorry, it's not too far from here, but I think I got distracted off of the fucking export vehicle, and of course. God damn, legit, fucking drifting on my right stick, because that's fucking camera shit. Whenever I fucking drift on while moving, to be fucking honest in this game. Plus most games, because most games do right stick fucking camera, I'm pretty certain of it.
What do you need, boss? Some wheels? I can bring them around. I'll bring it by.
wood stuff and lanterns, and I don't think that's necessarily always a thing. Some random elements of that shit, I don't know. Like, maybe it's always there at first, but of course, when hitting it one time might move into not being the way. Oh my god. Not the easiest shortcut here, but when doing it, I think it's pretty worth it though. From what I recall. Oh, that's okay, I guess. Not the greatest, but that'll do, I feel. Getting before the red on there, let's fucking go. Glad I remembered from last time that the shortcut, like later on, if not, was making it just wasn't actually a shortcut. Cause I think from before and stuff, I would like try to go on like the other side of the highway, like, cause I thought the GPS route wasn't the most accurate or some shit for like a good like route or whatever. But no, you only really gotta do the dirt thing at the beginning, and it's pretty damn easy from there. Literally first fucking try it out, so it's so easy to shortcut makes it. I say I would honestly say one that was available this week here was definitely one of the easier ones for sure. I think. Yeah, fucking damn. No matter what I do, my fucking right stick fucking was drift as fucking hell. No. Seriously, my DualSense is much cleaner than my fucking DualShock 4 fuck sticks, man. This one's the one that drews. Crazy. I don't know, I think I hear the colored ones are better off, but the ones fucking packed with the like white model, whatever. I like the older like white DualSense models. I don't know, like the stick drift is even like easier to happen on those apparently than the other like newer ones from what I hear. Just annoying though. Mr. Audi is export vehicle here, fuck it. I can't remember when I use the call. Vehicle I'm very familiar with, so I didn't make a guess at what that was or something earlier. I guess one of it's like Doomsday Heist for classic vehicles that do not have machine guns if I recall, so that's probably why I don't recall it much. It's not like the Visitor is, for example, that does have machine guns for sport classic from like Doomsday Heist, but it's still. Oops. I didn't realize that I could go where I should have there. Oh well, that's too much of an issue anyway. Yeah, performance-wise, not just 190 is anything too spectacular. Figure out to say that since I'm using this for an export vehicle here. I haven't taken it for an export vehicle here yet. Damn, it's 5:40 in the morning and I already got done. Oh, okay, I was like, how the fuck do I have 272,000 whenever I never been to the ESW town travel me, right? But yes, that is going to definitely be it for the stream. Sorry it was a bit long for a boring event that was a lot of repeat stuff and whatnot, but as per usual, my throat gets super fucky and like very early in the morning and shit for some fucking reason. And then fucking stick drifting was on my DualSense has been worse than it's ever been before, so that's been a bit distracting and shit. But yeah, I think. And next stream is most definitely in GTA Online. I've been linked streams certainly. I know Reddit might get something for the. I don't know. Today's the 27th. If it's near the end of the month, maybe Reddit Online gets something for Tuesday. So maybe that will come first. I don't know. I forget. Or maybe that's the week after. If it Reddit or GTA thing, obviously I usually do. Haven't done much video content like forever aside for news videos per se. I don't know, my views and my fucking. I don't know, my views and watch time kind of kicking back up on like the Lowrider Part 1 or whatever the fuck. But I don't know, my views and watch time have been kind of dying, so maybe I'll get back into YouTube video stuff again. I don't fucking know. Maybe, just maybe. I'll be honest. I've honestly been pretty impressed that a channel as small as mine's been able to put out like a couple quite successful videos, but oh well. I think that's finally be it for this stream though. Hope you enjoyed. Oh yeah, and reminder, today at like 5 p.m. Pacific time or some shit, apparently eShop's closing for 3DS and Wii U. So if you got like a Nintendo 3DS or a Nintendo Wii U or whatever, then you don't got much time to buy stuff, but you probably should have been doing that before the last day, of course. But actually, by the time I like post this, that's probably already gonna be done with. I didn't get to Monday because I was actually hella spending spree, doing hella spending spree shit on my Wii U. Yeah, that's finally be it for this fucking stream though. Hope you enjoyed.